Okay, I guess we're live here. Good afternoon, I guess good morning to everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good, 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 good. Hopefully everybody's doing great. I don't know what's up with this filter thing here, but it's whatever. All right. So I have a question for you guys. Are you someone that's looking for your manifestation? Or are you someone that's looking for what you want to create? It's a natural human thing or human instinct to look for what we want. If you're visualizing something, if you're scripting something, right, you want to look to see when it's gonna come, right? And oh man, I'm gonna do that. But you really have to be careful of that because you really shouldn't be looking for what you're manifesting. You should just be expecting what you're manifesting. Think about that. When you look for something, you actually affirm the absence of the thing. Let me repeat that. When you're looking for something, you are affirming the absence of what you want or the object of your desire. Now, some people may say, well, what's so wrong with that? I look because I want it to come in, but I'm looking, but I don't see it. Well, here's the problem with that, or the issue with that. You see, the way this world works, or the way life and your reality, your existence works, is you are actually entangled with every single object, person, and thing in the universe. That is just a universal law. So you cannot be looking for something that's already there. So if something's already there, but you're looking, you're now reaffirming to the universe that it's not there, but the universe says it is there. So what's going to happen? It's going to be a battle between you and the universe. The universe says it is here. You're saying it's not there because I don't see it. So what happens? Well, the universe now, because it is like a self-correcting code, so it cannot give you what you already have, so it must give you the opposite. What you don't have, that's what you'll get. So the more you look for it, the more it hides from you, the more you push it away. You see how that works? I think many of us have been led with it's a false belief or a false program of how the world works. The world doesn't work how they taught you it worked. They actually taught you backwards. And I say this over and over again in so many videos I've done and things like that. So if you want to create your world, you have to be smart and you have to stop looking, because you look, you're going to create resistance. Does that make sense? Do you guys see how it works? I don't think most people don't get that. The more you look, the more it's going to go away. The more you expect, the more it's going. Hey Mark, is the quantum world basically a mental sphere? Well, yes, everything is a mental sphere. Even your physical world is a mental sphere. There's nothing physical in this world. You are not even physical. You are not even here. You want me to get technical for you? Let me break it down even deeper for you. So we know Albert Einstein, the father, you call him quantum mechanics. You got Niels Bohr, who's also the father of quantum mechanics. But Albert Einstein, everybody knows Albert Einstein. Very brilliant, came up with the theory of relativity. What if I was to tell you that every single person watching this right now, you have been dead for trillions of years? Not only you've been dead, but you've also been born. You're also in the middle age. You're also young. You're also alive at the same time. Right this moment. Your entire life path has been mapped out. Every event that ever happened in your life, the birth, the middle age, to death, it's all happening now. So when you're watching this right now, you've been dead for trillions of years. but yet you're alive. Everything that's happened has already happened. Whoa, right? That's mind blowing, right? Is there any facts to that? Is there anything supporting that? Yes, there is. Let me say this first though, because many people won't get this, because the way your brain thinks and access information, it's in a linear format. See, our brains cannot process things as a, what would I call, a uniform process. Our brain processes things from beginning, middle to end. So it's going to be difficult for you to understand this. So let me make it as simple as possible for you when I say this. I say that you're already dead trillions of years ago. You are alive right now. So people would say, oh man, people would laugh at this and say, what the hell is this guy's talking about? Well, let me show you what I'm talking about. Because, yes, someone says only woke people will understand. Well, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to help. I'm going to help the people that aren't woke to understand. Even some woke people don't understand this. So let me explain to you how this stuff works. So everything in the universe is composed of particles. Let's call everything light. Let's make it easy for you. Light creates everything, right? So did you know that time doesn't affect light? The faster you go at the speed of light, time actually slows down and stops. So light exists extensionally apart from the universe. You are light. Your whole body is composed of light. Now, how about time? How does time work, Mark? Well, time, space-time, or we call it space-time, time and space are actually one. They're actually interwoven. So, the way time works is that every single thing, the past, the present, and the future, they're all happening simultaneously. And because time doesn't affect light, light can be here, there, and everywhere at the same time. Does that make sense? So I'm just trying to make it very simple for you to understand now. So because light is oblivious to time, everything is happening at the same time. That means over here, you're dead. Over here, you're born. Over here, you're in middle age. Over there. The reason you can't see this is because your brain is limited and it can only see things in a linear form. It can't jump like this or that. So, do you see now what I mean? So everything is just like look at everything on a plane, and it's just over one spot's over there, one spot's over there, one spot's over there. But if you look down, you can see the entire plane. So you've already been dead. You've already alive. You're just on every single part of your life experience is somewhere in this plane. Your death is over there. Your birth is over here. Your middle age is over there. And guess what? It all repeats. Not only does it repeat, it's infinite. So how do we know this? I showed you. Did you know that Albert Einstein, he innately knew this? As a matter of fact, he wrote a letter to one of his best friends that died, to the best friend's mom. And he says, in the letter, he says, well, such and such isn't dead or gone. He's just over here. He's just over the hill, the next hill. So Albert Einstein innately knew that your death and your life and everything in your whole world is simultaneously happening right now. People won't understand this. So that's why I say the past, the present, and the future is all happening now. Like, you're here now, but this is just like a feedback. It's like watching something that's pre-recorded already. The actual event has already been done, but you're watching the recording of the event. Right? Now some people may be like, whoa, what is this guy talking about? Well, it's not this guy's talking about this. It's what quantum physics is proven, not talking. This is according to quantum theory and quantum mechanics and how light affects space and time. See how it works? Now, look, this can be very empowering to some people, or this can be very debilitating to some people. But this should be very empowering to you, because it sends a sense to let you know that everything is already working out and is already okay in your favor. It sends a message to tell you that you've already created your destiny. Everything that you want to create or you already done it. It's going to happen. And this is why you have what's called a desire. This is why you have stuff in your mind and heart. I want to be a painter. I want to make a lot of money. I want to do that. Where does that come from? You think that just pops into your head? That was something that was already downloaded by you before you came here. So when someone comes in and you see different people like, man, he's so good at that. Why is he so talented in that? Where did he get his talent? Because before they got this physical experience, this was something that was already chosen by them. So yeah, someone says you can control it. Yeah, you can control it. Now, it does say something about free will, that free will is kind of an illusion. It does say that self-determinism is more like a probabilistic approach to life, but this is where the free will part comes into it. So you do have some semblance of free will to change your life. And that's because let's go ahead and look at this plane again. So let's look at time as this plane. So let's look at like a hill, and you're above looking down. Okay, now let's put someone on the hill. The person on the hill, they cannot see the entire surroundings of the hill, right? They can only see up to so forth. But let's say you're in a helicopter, you're looking down. You could see where everything is at on the hill. So you could radio down to the person on the hill and says, hey, if you go up further, there's going to be a cliff. You want to avoid that. He can't see that far. Okay, so let me go with that. So you can understand that. All right. So now you're down on a hill, right? But you also have what? This is where the free will comes. You have a free will where you can go right, left, or backwards. See? But the entire hill is still there. So in other words, your entire destiny or your whatever you want is already predestined. But how you achieve your destiny is where you have the free will, where you can take different routes to achieve what you want. You can make a decision not to. You can do that, da. But at some point down the line, you're going to fulfill your destiny, whatever you choose to do. Someone asked this question here. How do you get things to manifest to you? All right, so if you want to get things to manifest to you, first of all, you have to make up your mind and know what you want. So once you decide what you want, then you have to start to bring it into physical reality. And that comes into different processes, such as meditating, such as visualizing. Some people like to script. And then such as feeling in the moment, accepting that you already have it, expecting it without looking. And that's something you have to do repeatedly over and over. And also you have to impress your subconscious mind, because it's your subconscious mind that manifests stuff. By doing those processes, that's how you get things to manifest to you. So do you guys understand now? Someone says, thank you, I understand now. Good. So it's possible to change the past events. Well, let's look at this again. Remember, past, present, they're there, right? So if the past is here in a coordinate and the future is there, it's already happened. So there's no way you can change it. It's already there in a coordinate. Now you may say, well, Mark, according to what you're saying, then it's possible to revisit it, right? But again, what you're experiencing is the feedback of it. It has already happened. So if it's happened, it's there already. You're experiencing a feedback loop, right? So the past, present, future, all at once. Oh, let me make it simple. So the past, how do we experience the past? Memory. The only reason we know we have a past is because we remember the past. Repeat that. The only reason you know you did what you did yesterday or last week is because of your memory. If you don't have any memory, there is no past. That's the only way we keep track of stuff. Maybe by raw physical stuff, we can look at this and say, okay, so all right, how about the future? The future is a projection, right? Your mind will look forward into next week, but realistically, it is next week isn't there, right? So let me ask you this question now. So when are you doing these things? When do you remember your past? Now. When do you think of the future? Right now. When does the future happen? Whenever it happens? Right now. So what is the past? The past is just your brain's concept of something that's already happened now. It's just an instant in that moment of now. So therefore, past, present, future, all one. This can become a very difficult subject for people to understand, because again, your mind wasn't trained to see things outside the box. Your mind wasn't trained to jump around and see a whole functional structure. Your mind was trained to see things in linear. That's why you went to school and you grew up and you see things. You see birth, middle, old, and death. So your brain fused to see your world that way. But because your brain fused to see your world that way, it isn't how the world works. It's an illusion. Just because you can't conceptualize it or you can't make sense of it doesn't mean it's not happening or it is not true. It's actually something more vastly than our brains can comprehend. Let me give you a note about your brain. Your brain just exists for survival, not to thrive. Your brain wants to conserve energy. Your brain doesn't want to put out energy. And this was done millions of years when we were developing. See, the brain wants to keep you safe. So that's why success is so difficult for people to achieve it. Because if success was easy, so many people would do it. Why is success so difficult? Because success involves using brain power. You're taking more power from your brain to create. Your brain don't want to do it. Your brain will literally fight you. That's why you get procrastination. That's why you feel lazy. That's why you feel unmotivated. It's the brain's defensive mechanism. The brain says, I don't want to put this energy. I want to conserve energy because I want to survive. So if you think about that deeper, this is why when people talk about money, I'm going to chase money, I'm going to make money, that doesn't impress your brain. Your brain that doesn't motivate your brain. It just motivates your ego. Your brain, because money isn't to your brain, the only thing that matters to your brain is keeping you alive and breathing. Food. That's it. So the question is, man, it's true, man. I know this success is hard, bro, because you got to really. So people that become successful, what do they do different? Well, there's a good thing about the brain. So when the brain evolved, it came with an expansion. It's like look at your brain like a phone. You have your phone and then you have your SD card, right? Your phone has built-in memory automatically, right? But what if you want to add more memory to your phone? What do? You can buy an expansion card. You put the expansion card in, voila, you get like terabytes of memory, right? Same thing with your brain. The thing about your brain is, even though it was wired for survival, not thrival, you can actually rewire your brain. So when you rewire your brain, you can rewire it to put out more energy. And that's how people become successful. And that's why it becomes so difficult, because people have to be disciplined. They have to be patient. They have to be focused. And they have to be repetitive. Those are the formulas to rewire the brain, because the brain will always fight you. Right? So someone says, man, your opinions are respectful, but you're off track. So I would like to, I love these lives because I love to do, we can do, respectful educational debates here to help people. So I would like to know, who's this? Rue Forrest. So Rue Forrest, tell me about where I'm off track. I'd love to hear. All right. So the fact, and for the record, guys, the stuff that I'm putting out to you and to everyone, these are all viable theories, experiments, and facts that have been done in neuroscience, quantum physics. So I'm curious to see anyone here on this platform tell me where I'm wrong. So someone can tell me where I'm wrong here, because I have open mind, and hey, I may not be right in everything, but which no one is, but I'd love to have a healthy debate about this, as long as it's in a line of variable events that we can experiment and we can see, such as physics, neuroscience, the biology of the mind and the brain. So about the brain again, you have to remember that. So the key now, so now that you know that, the key is to put out energy, to get your brain to expand energy. So what is this energy you're talking about, Mark? What kind of energy do we put out? Well, you only manifest things with these type of energies, because these are the energies that exist in the universe when the evolution of this universe began. It's called electromagnetic energy. Electricity, magnetism, boom. You see it as light, photons. And these different energies now, they come off at different fractals. They can come off in gamma waves, alpha waves, beta waves, all different type of energy, right? Quasars, these are energies from the stars. So it's energy we put out. You know, the human body, your body, has enough electricity in it. Let me repeat this. The human body has enough electricity in it that you can fry your own body. It's called human combustible disposition, where people have actually been combusted their whole entire bodies. That's how much power you have in your body. You have enough energy to power small stuff, run things. You have your cells, your body's comprised of like 75% water, and your entire, I mean, actually, if you want to get technical and become specific, even what you see, feel, touch, and hear aren't even real in technical terms. That's another mind-blowing one for you, right? Man, what is this guy talking about, man? This guy's... Man, I just seen you drink some water, bro. That's real, right? I'll drink my water again. How the hell are you going to tell me what I'm seeing, smelling, tasting, touching is not real, bro? I just seen you drink the water. And me, myself, right? I felt myself pick up the water, and I felt myself drink the water. But again, here's the big question I got to ask you. Who or what makes me feel, touch, and taste the water? The information is coming from my brain. So what processes? Everything that I do is just based on electrochemical signals. That's all I do. My taste of smell, touch is basically electrical energy. It turns into chemical that tells my brain that I'm touching and I'm tasting this. So if everything is coming from an electrochemical signal, and electricity is light, it's something that you can pass through. Water, you can pass through it. Nothing is really real. It's all someone says a perception. It's just the way my body works to trick me, to make me believe I am touching and tasting this. You got to look at the big picture. The reason why I bring this up to you, I want you to see big picture. I don't want people who have small minds here, right? Small-minded people will say, well, bro, why I can't walk through the wall? Well, bro, I'm alive right now. Bro, I'm touching my hands, bro. What do you mean? That's small-minded people. Big-minded and open-minded people will see the big picture to understand, well, man, then that means everything I'm seeing is an illusion. So if it's an illusion, maybe I can change it, right? Because I'm using my brain. And what does my brain use? Oh, my brain uses my thoughts. So that means my thoughts must create my illusionary world. See, that's how open-minded and big-minded people see things. That's what I want you to see. You see, your perception will change your world. Not, you can't think small. Like, well, why can't I go through walls? Well, I mean, technically, I could even help you with if someone is small-minded and want to grow big-minded, and they're gonna, which is a very good question. Like, man, everything you're saying, man, is true. So why the hell I can't go through the wall, bro? If everything's a reality, why don't fall through everything? Well, technically you can, but there's only one thing. There's four things stopping it. So if one of these four things were to be turned off, then you could walk through the walls and everything. That would really trip you out. You're like, whoa. So what are these? Well, when the universe began, it's governed by fundamental forces. Look at them like laws. So you got weak force, strong nuclear force. You got electromagnetic. Frequency, right? And you have gravity. Those are four forces. So which one of them would make you walk through the wall? Well, it's the electromagnetic and the weak and the strong. Well, the strong is the nuclear, the weak. But let's talk about the electromagnetic one. So if that force were turned on, then there wouldn't be any charge between anything. Charges create magnetism, right? So because of the fact that there wouldn't be any charge, because you're made of an electron. Electron has another positron, but positrons we'll talk about positrons a little bit. But let's talk about the electron. So in my hands, I'll use my two hands. So there we go. I'm touching my fingers, right? I'm actually not touching my fingers. It's my brain tricking me, telling me I'm touching my fingers. What's really happening is electrons in this hand, they always have a continuous charge because of the electromagnetic frequency, the force. So it's always going to be repelling. That repulsion is what I feel as a charge. Now, what's actually happening on a quantum scale is called Planck scale, is that my hands are slightly levitating. Nothing is actually touching. See, that's what prevents my fingers from going through my fingers. Now, let's say that force were turned off, then you'd be shocked, because then my complete fingers would go through my fingers. My hands would go through the phone. That's what your world is. Now, look, this becomes very difficult for so many people to get, and I understand that. But when you can look at it from objective and a scientific aspect, and you see how things work, then even though you see it scientifically, your brain will still tell you, man, that's a bunch of crap. Which is fine, because the brain is going to take time to process stuff and doesn't understand. But the fact, and this is done through verifiable experiments over and over, that we know this. We know that everything is composed of electrons and is run by a force. And we know that your thoughts in your brain are produced through electrochemical signals. And we know that everything is composed of energy. So we know that your entire world is actually an illusion. It's like you're living in a dream. The reason the dream feels so real to you is because of the sense that your body puts out, the different nerve cells. There's no other way you can do this. So the big picture is, the science and some facts they're very interesting, and it makes you think and it makes you wonder. But I always look at big picture. Big picture aspect is, the reason I say that is because I say that to say this, that you have more power than you actually realize. You actually are the creator, the influencer of your own experience. You actually create your own world within world. That's the main point of this, that you actually have so much power in your mental faculties that you can physically shift the world. That's the main point here, to make you understand that. And what are your thoughts on the supernatural? They're on different planes. Yes. So okay, now within our universe, it goes into point. So that's a good question. What about supernatural stuff? Okay, now remember, now we exist. So let's talk about how stuff works, right? So everything is an energy, right? So remember, now with an energy, it's going to oscillate. Oscillation is going to create a oscillation is vibration. So you're gonna get reverberation or vibration. So now, because of this vibration, all vibrations are going to be separate. They're going to separate themselves based on their frequency. So you're going to have different vibrations. You're going to have high vibration, low vibration, right? So does that make sense? Okay, we got that. So everything's going to have a vibration. Now, within these high vibrations, there are also going to be higher vibrations. But these higher vibrations will not be in our dimension. And because they're not in our dimension, we cannot perceive them physically. So the supernatural stuff you experience in your life are vibrational planes of higher dimensions. The thing with higher dimensions is, if they're higher than you and I, then that means they could come into our dimension because they're higher. So that's why things can pop in and out of your dimension. Such people see like what they call angels. They see different beings and all these. These are just vibrations of different energy, or they could be different forms like you and I, but they live in a higher dimension. So because they live in a higher dimension than our 3D dimension, they have the ability to interact, to go out and into our dimension. Just like you and I, we live in a 3D dimension, right? We can interact with a 2D dimension. So if you go into someone's 2D world and we get in there, to us, we'll appear as gods to them because it's like we're defying their laws of physics. Because we're 3D, their world is only 2D. So when they see us, they're like, look, he pops in, he pops out. How can he do that? It's all about dimensions. Now, the next thing you got to understand is that we do live in multiple dimensions. Everything exists in dimensions. Dimensions, look at dimensions as their own pockets with their own energetic frequencies. You got 2, 3 dimension. You even got 1 dimension. You can do this, right? You can get a pen and you can draw a line on a paper. That's 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension. Then you go up to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, even up to 12 dimensions. There are even more dimensions. There are probably even more dimensions than our brains can evaluate. But just the theories we use, such as string theory, we can see there's up to maybe 11 or 13 dimensions. Can you give an example of what to experience would be? What do you mean by that? Can you give an example of what to do experience would be? I've seen some crazy stuff by deep breathing. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Meditation, which can involve deep breathing, can actually help you to access some of these higher dimensions mentally. I want to say this. You can access these higher dimensions, but it can only come from a mental faculty. Sorry, I mean a 2D experience. Well, okay, let's say a 2D, let's use a person or a people or being that live in a 2D world. In a 2D world, they can only go backwards and forwards, 2D, okay? They can't go up and down, they can't go side to side, 3D, okay? So 2D, that's a 2D world. So imagine you live on a flat plane and you only can go back and forth. That's a 2D world. Imagine now me being a 3-dimensional person. I pop into your 2D world. You just see me appear out of nowhere. Because remember, I can go up and down, left and right, backwards, forward. See, so I have an extra dimension in you. In your world, it's only flat. So an example of that is if you're in your 2D world and you're walking, when I pop in, it look like a miracle to you. Because you're like, where did this guy come from? But because you are unaware of an extra dimension. There are dimensions that we aren't aware of. That's why things can pop in and out, and sometimes we call it trippy stuff. That may explain why people see ghosts. That may explain people see different angels, different beings. The things just pop in and out because there's always a higher dimensions. So that's an example of a 3D being in a 2D. So when I pop into your 2D world, the trippy thing is though, even though I pop into your 2D world, you will never see my full 3D person because you can only see in 2 dimensions. So I'll even look more trippy than you. So you may see my hands, but you won't see all the portions of my head. You just may see the 2-dimensional part of my hands. But when my hands is leaving, then you'll see the other 3D part of my hands as a 2D. See how it works? So because I'm 3-dimensional, just because I'm 3D, you're not going to see me in 3D because your brain is configured in a 2D world. Just like our brains were evolved to perceive a 3D world. It's all about what your brain was made to do in your environment. That's the key here. So think about us. We are 3D beings, right? Three-dimensional. Well, you could call it 4 dimensions because we use time. Time is now considered a 4th dimension. So if a higher spiritual being pops into our dimension, we can only see in 3D. It'll look so trippy to us. Probably it wouldn't even make sense. Some people may pass out or faint. Some people may not even know what it is. Some people may just like freak out because their brain is scrambling to make sense of something that it hasn't evolved to perceive. Yeah, someone says, just like how you look at ants. A better example is like the ocean. So let's use the ocean. So you got the fishes and the fishes. They live in the ocean, right? So the ocean, let's use the ocean as their world. So according to them, that's their dimension. So everything's underneath. So if a fish come out of the ocean and he looks up, there's another dimension. The fish now sees the sky, sees the clouds. Oh my goodness. Let's take it even further. Let's take the fish up even higher. Oh my goodness. Now the fish sees planets and stars. You see that? It would blow the mind of the fish, because according to the fish, his world was the only thing that exists in that surface level. Same thing with us. There are certain things out there that are unimaginable to you and I, that you and I will never be able to imagine until the unimaginable becomes imaginable. And that's something interesting that I discovered about imaginable and unimaginable. You see, I like to live in the unimaginable world. Yes, I like to live in the imaginable world, but the beauty of living in the unimaginable world is it creates a more euphoric experience, because I can sit back and I could say, man, I could imagine what I want, but man, what if I could go the unimaginable? What if more of what I want is so much bigger that I can't imagine it? That's the world I like to live in, because that expands my mind and it makes me now become more imaginable. That's what you should do. You should live in the unimaginable. And I'll give an example of that. Think about a time that you were doing something and maybe now where you're at, you couldn't even imagine it. Many of us experienced that. I experienced that. 5 years ago, this is an unimaginable. I would never think 5 years ago I'd be teaching, helping people. I have a YouTube channel, 80,000 subscribers, all these different platforms. I wrote 2 books. I won multiple times in the lottery. 5 years ago, the information I got about how the mind, the body, and quantum physics, all that work, that was unimaginable to me, because 5 years ago, I went to culinary school. I was an executive sous chef. That's it, 5 years ago. Now where I'm at, see, that's unimaginable. That's what I like to live in, because now I know from that, I'm like, man, bro, there could be so much more potential and so much better things out there for you that you could imagine. Think about, that's a great place to be, to get up every day to understand that, wow, yeah, I could imagine big stuff, but man, you mean to tell me there's bigger stuff that could happen for me that I couldn't imagine? That means the unimaginable? That puts you in a whole different league. That puts you're now in a different mental capacity than 90% of the world. You're living in a different consciousness now. Someone says, yeah, you're deep. You're in a deep, different realm, because now you're getting up every day. People are seeing 10 feet ahead. You're seeing 1,000,000 feet ahead, because now you're training your mind and your brain to expect the unimaginable. Imagine the power that does. And imagine the freedom it gives you. Imagine the resistance you're going to release. Because now you know that, man, things could always go so super, super great for me, because the unimaginable, man. There's something out there right now that's coming for me that's even better than I could imagine. Think about that. Think about what that does to your brain. Think about what that does to your motivation. Think about what that does to your desires. Think about what that does to your body, your health, to release the resistance, to put you in harmony, to raise your vibration, man. It just makes your life, this makes you even more happy. Remember I talk about being an optimist? You become an optimist like that, because you're literally telling the mind to be calm. There's so much better things ahead that it doesn't have the capacity to understand yet. Right? Mark, would you talk about angel numbers a bit? Must be in 3 digits or 2 digits or 1 digit. Well, angel, like, again, it goes to this dimension and how the universe works. Angel numbers are what is I call angel numbers the codex of the universe, or the code the universe uses to talk to you and I, because everything is expressed in geometry or mathematics. So these numbers are like a guide to you and I. They have different meanings about the purpose of your life, what's going on in your life. So the thing with angel numbers is, depending on the sequence, is the intensity of the number. So if you see them in single numbers, very good frequency. Double numbers, higher frequency. Triple numbers, super higher. So it's just the intensity. So if you see 333, is the universe is just really saying, this is really on point. If you see like this, the 2 3s, like 3 3, the universe says, yes, you're doing fine. So it's just intensity. It's the intensity of these numbers. And of course, you all know different meanings, and you can find these meanings because they're all over the internet. You can go post, read them up. The thing now, now there's something else now. I talk about these different mind state dimensions, and I said that you can access higher levels of dimensions, higher mind states to manifest, to create more, right? I did say you can tap into these dimensions, right, with the mental faculties. And there's a tool that everybody have right now that some people don't even know they have it, but it's laying dormant in so many people, and it's our tool to access these different levels of consciousness. The tool you have is right here. It sits right here. It's called the third eye, the pineal gland, the pineal gland, the gland that regulates melatonin and sleep, but it does more than that. That gland has actually crystallized celestine crystals in your gland. And within these crystals, they actually emit electromagnetic vibration into the universe. That's right. And when they emit these electromagnetic vibration now, they actually open portals to other dimensions. So this is why people, like really spiritually awakened people are like really tuned in and know how this stuff works. This is why they can manifest so fast and easy. This is why things always kind of go their way, because they're using the mental faculty of their mind. They're using their third eye. They open it up and they do it. Someone says, do you win the lottery all the time? Quite frequently. And I would attest that to this, opening my third eye. My third eye, I was able to see these numbers, these pick 4 numbers, pick 5 numbers. I was able to have the intuition to be at the right place at the right time to buy that scratch card. So again, this goes to what I was showing you guys, that everything was already laid out. See, the past, future, and present. How would I know where to go and there would be a winning scratch off there? I mean, it was already written for me. Sometimes I go to sleep, man, and before I go to sleep, an image of a store would pop into my head. Like a store I've been to before, but I may have gone there a month. And the store will pop into my head, and it'll say, there's a scratch off in that store. And I'll go into that store, and I've done this many times. I win 500, I win 10,000, I even won $100,000 before doing that. And all of this is done through the mental faculty. It's the grid. See that? Lottery is no different. It's the same concept. Well, actually, everything is the same concept. Again, many people don't get this. They won't understand. To many people, this will go, whoop, it'll fly right through them. Whew. It'll like fly past their mind. Why does this fly through most people's mind? Because the majority of people are still plugged. Most people don't want to be unplugged from the matrix, because they don't want to be unplugged. So they fight the fight against. They'll actually fight against you to protect the matrix, because they're so used to the program of being plugged in. They're used to the system dependent on them. They're used to what everyone's telling them. They believe in their government. They believe in their religion. They believe in what they're seeing. They believe in the media programming. And they fight to protect the thing that's holding them back. To me, that's the definition of insanity. People say, well, the definition of insanity, that to me, the definition of insanity is fighting to protect the thing that's debilitating you, and they don't even know it. See what I mean? To me, that's insanity. But yeah, the big picture is that, the world is not what you think it is just because you can see with your eyes. Your eyes are just seeing a tiny bandwidth of the frequency, the electromagnetic frequency. Your eyes are only seeing 1 to 2% of the actual field. What is this field? This field is what we call the electromagnetic spectrum field. It's what we call space-time reality. It's the field, the quantum field, where everything comes from the invisible into the visible. Within this field, there exist different levels of awareness and frequencies. And within these frequencies, they give rise to physical objects that you see with your eye. Because when your eye sees something, it descrambles that frequency into an image. That's how you see your world. You never actually see anything outside. Everything you see must come inside first. I repeat that. Every single thing you're seeing, what I'm seeing right now is not outside my mind, out of my head. It's inside my head, and it's being projected out. So, I mean, what is it? Some people may say, "Man, this guy's tripping, man. I'm looking right now. I'm seeing outside." No, you're not seeing outside, my friend. Nobody. You have never seen anything outside. You can never see anything outside. I can prove it to you. The way your receptors in your eyes work, in your brain, in your skull, deep within your skull, is called the visionary cortex. This little pea-sized thing is what filters light inside. Light comes in, and it goes into this visionary cortex, and this visionary cortex descrambles the light to make it, and when it pushes back out, you see physical stuff. So everything you see outside is already inside your head. And here's the thing about this. Your visionary cortex is in a dark place. It never sees light. Light comes in, and it takes light and makes you see your tree, the stars, and everything. So everything you see in your world is inside your head first, man. People don't even understand that. People don't even understand how they see the world, how world works, how vision works. They see that everything they're seeing is real to them. Yeah, it's real to you because your brain is basically tricking you to make you believe it's real, but everything is inside the visionary cortex and being protruded out. Everything comes in as raw data, as raw information. And then in your visionary cortex, it descrambles it and makes these images. All right, Mark, so what is the source of these images? Where do these images come from? Because obviously there's something that's downloading this stuff to make me see my house and my car and let us see the same thing. So where's all this coming from? I don't know. I don't know where it's coming from. It could be coming from consciousness itself. Maybe it's the universe. The part of the universe is alive. Maybe it's coming from another dimension. Maybe it's coming from other beings that have downloaded information to you and I. Maybe you and I are projects from another being. Maybe you and I are creations, and we're just avatars in our consciousness, live somewhere else, and is just sending us images, and we're just living like that. It's your guess is just as good as mine, but I do know for a fact that what you see in the head first. Okay? Now, some people will try to tell you, oh, I know where it comes from. Nobody knows where it comes from. No one knows. They have theories and everything. But we do know for a fact, I do know for a fact that who I am, me, I am not here. Like my consciousness, my existence, I call it my higher self. It's somewhere else projecting information to me. I do know that. What do you think happens when we die? You become another fractal part of the universe. You exist somewhere else. You could become reincarnated. You could become a different part of existence. It's like a different tree of existence. I mean, you got to understand that there is no such thing as death. You cannot die because the energy that powers you has to go back to the source. Your body and all this stuff is powered by electromagnetic energy. That's who you are. When that energy leaves your body, it's impossible for you, the who true you, to what people call die. It cannot. It has to go back. Now, what does die is your body does decompose, the cells and everything. But that's not you, though. Who you are. Understand, you gotta understand that your consciousness or your awareness is who you are. Your body is just like a shell, like a tool, it's like a spacesuit. Look at it like that. And when you get out of the spacesuit, the spacesuit drops and decomposes, but you're still there. It's the same thing with consciousness. Right? Yeah, many people see this. Someone says it's a thin veil. I've seen my loved ones when they pass. Yeah, many people report to see I call it the energy signature of the body or the soul. They see the energetic person leaving, the real soul leaving. So we will never see our loved ones again. Honest answer is, I don't know. I mean, I know religion teaches you that, you will and all that stuff, but that is not accurate. What happens is, well, actually, you will see your loved ones because you are already a part of your loved ones. Everyone is connected. So when you do leave and go, your loved ones will be connected to you because we're all the same consciousness. We're just experiencing things from a different fractal. Different fractal means, like, look at a tree. A tree has the same root, but it has different branches, but they're all connected. So your loved ones will be on a different branch. So you're still a part of the root. I mean, everything and everyone is the same, but from a different perspective. How can I beat addiction? That's a great question. First answer is, number one, you have to know you're addicted to something. That's the first step. So that's good. If you know you have an addiction, that's great. Second step now, you have to beat addiction is all subconscious. You can't beat addiction with willpower. It's not going to work. You have to go to the root of the addiction. And usually most addictions come from some emotional baggage or damage, and that's stored in our subconscious mind. So you'd have to do some deep work. You got to do some hypnotherapy, some subliminal frequencies to understand where the emotional trauma is. Because the emotional trauma is masking as the addiction. That's what emotional trauma does. Emotional trauma will mask at many different things. It'll make you become addiction. It'll make you become toxic. It'll give you all these different problems and make you stop fear of commitment. All of this is make you not trust people, and you'll just think to yourself, I'm just not good at trusting people. But it's coming from a deeper source. So all type of mental things we face, such as depression, anxiety, addiction, they all come from a subconscious block, a deep trauma that we experience, usually when we were kids. It's trapped in every cell in your body because your subconscious is in every cell of your body, right? So you have to do that. Can you talk about the aliens? Yes, I can talk about aliens. Aliens are just like you and I. They're different beings. They're just higher dimensional beings, higher planes and beings. You have to remember one thing, guys, that our part of the universe, where we live at, in the Milky Way galaxy, we call our local galaxy, our solar system, our planet is about roughly a few billion years old. The entire cosmos or universe and different galaxies are billions of years ahead of us. Now, the fact how things evolve, how we evolve, the laws of physics are showing that more likely things happen the same way. So if things happen the same way, we're the old kids on the block. We're not the new. You're the new kids on the block. So we aren't the top of the food chain, so to speak. So this is my belief, guys. It's my personal belief that I've, listen to me now. I was brought up in religion, Christianity, all that stuff, read the Bible and all that stuff. But there were so much things that were missing, man. So many stuff that was missing. Like I said this last week in the live, I said, go look at the book of Enoch. That book has been censored. Good luck finding it published. Because they stopped publishing it. Because it rivaled what the Bible was saying, right? The Christian Bible, the book of Enoch. So I started, because ever since I was a kid, man, the Christian thing and the religion thing didn't make sense to me in my soul. There was something was off. You know, how we were created and all this stuff and da-da-da. So what really got me now is when I started to do my research and I understood stuff, and I studied how, humans develop, how we evolutionize the cells in our body, how they comprise our DNA, the ribosomes, the chromosomes, how they separate between male and female, and the simple organisms that created all this stuff. And then something was interesting. It was chromosome number 2, and I said it so many times. So human beings, we evolved really quickly in a span of maybe to become Homo sapiens, which we are. In a span of about 3,000 years, 6,000 years, we see the greatest evolutionary part of our existence. And before that, we were taking millions of years to evolve. But there's a gap. It's called the missing link, when humans just took off. And they found epidemiologists, neuroscientists, biologists. This is what they found now. This is not my opinion. This is the facts now. I'm stating facts to you. They found within our DNA, our chromosome, they call it chromosome number 2. If you don't know what chromosome number 2 is, here's what it does. It's responsible for you to be able to conceptualize, to have empathy, to have love, to be able to critically think and to see things. It made us humans. It separated us from Neanderthals. It made us the more intelligent, rational human beings. That's what chromosome number 2 did. Guess what? Chromosome number 2 was hacked. Something changed that chromosome. Something tampered with that to make that chromosome. In other words, that chromosome could never develop naturally according to evolution. Impossible. It's impossible. Someone else, something intelligent, came, tampered with Homo sapiens genetics, and changed chromosome number 2 to what we have today. This is according epidemiologists, biologists, neuroscience. Of course, they can't tell you it's aliens. What they can tell you though is that we know that something or someone came and fixed that chromosome. They try to backtrack it. They try to find all the things. They did the math. They did the calculations. It's literally impossible for chromosome number 2 to develop according to the way the other chromosomes. Someone altered that genome. Okay? Someone altered that genome. You may be a hybrid to an alien, to a different being. And that makes sense to show, like when, Enoch seen those shields in the sky, see the balls of light. In the Bible, it says this, he was sitting on a chariot of light and all that stuff. They may even be describing these beings or entities that we may call them God or angels. They may actually just be a different civilization or different beings that created us, man. And I said this before. If you go to the Vatican, they have this painting of the Romans when they were at war in the 12th, 13th century, where when Romans went to war, right? They took artists with them because they, just like us, we have war or anything today or anything we take with our pictures on our cell phones. Back then, they had to draw these things, and they have drawings of where these battles were being fought, and they drew these ships looking down. So these beings were here before, looking down at human development. Someone said they got a copy of the used book, the Book of Enoch. Good for you, because I think the new ones, it's hard to get. I think they banned them or something. I do affirmations in my head all the time. I manifested my dream job doing that. That's a perfect example. I talk about like what you think and your thought becomes your world. Someone says aliens, bro. I mean, yep. Something intelligent did that. There's so many different theories. You got the Anunnakis, got all these different things, the beings. But I do know for a fact, though, that chromosome was altered. And I do know for a fact that we aren't alone. And I do know for a fact that if evolution developed the same way it did in the science and the math is showing that, then I do know for a fact that there are intelligent beings higher than us. And also, I do know for a fact that they probably don't care about us because we're low on the totem pole. They're probably observing us just like we observe ants. Imagine this. If you and I, okay, let me make it simple for you. Imagine if you have kids, so imagine your kid is 3 years old and you're like 30 something years old. Imagine the mental capacity between you and your kid. No, let me get it even deeper. Let's use your pet. Imagine you have a pet dog. And just imagine you talking to your dog. Your dog would never understand, it would never make sense. Imagine talking of quantum physics to your dog, explaining to your dog how gravity works. That's the same mental capacity these beings would have to us. We would be the dog to them. So with your pet, you love your pet, you're going to watch your pet, but you're not going to spend a lot of time in deep talking with your pet about consciousness and about all this other stuff. You're just going to feed your pet. Right? Am I correct? That's the same way it would work with higher beings than us. Because they had more time ahead of us. They developed billions of years before we did. They had a head start. So if they had a head start, that means their technology, whatever they have, is light. It's unimaginable. The word again. Remember I used the word unimaginable. Yeah, we talk to our pets and our dog, but your dog won't. Your dog is probably like just thinking in his head, all right, when are you going to feed me? Your dog has no idea. He's like, what is this lady talking about? Come on, just feed me and take me out for my walk. Right? But when it comes to create, the big picture, I'm saying all this stuff. I just want to paint a bigger picture. I want to paint the picture to show you that you have to really wake up. And you really have to get out of the matrix. With the matrix, you got to really get out of the program they're putting in your head. You got to get out of the mainstream media, the stuff they're showing you on TV. You got to get out of the textbooks they're trying to put in your books and teach you in your religion. You got to get out of all of that stuff. You have to listen to your soul. You see, your soul will always tell you the truth. But the problem is, the matrix even program you not to listen to your soul. Because they program to distract you from listening to your soul. So it's going to take someone that wants to be unplugged. It's going to take someone like how I did. I was when I was a kid, man, I questioned everything. That's just who I am. I would always question everything. I never take anything anyone say to me and go with it. I always investigate it to make sure, okay, that makes sense. Let me check it out. I was never that type of person. And that's the type of person you need to become. You got to become an open-minded person, because when you're open-minded, you're going to open more reality. When you open more reality, you're going to open your life to better things. You cannot be a closed-minded person. Closed-minded people become the robots to the matrix. They become the bots. They become the non-player characters, the NPCs. Open-minded people are the people that's going to liberate the matrix. These are the people, these are the awakened ones. These are the ones that's going to free the consciousness of this part of the stuff. The matrix is designed to keep you closed-minded. And it all starts from when you were a little tiny baby. The way they taught you in school was designed to make your mind closed. Do you think school? Yeah, just because you go to school and you can read and write and you can do mathematics, that's closed-minded, man. There's no subject in school that teaches a person to think open-minded. There's no subject in school that teaches people really to be critical thinkers. They teach people a system, a format. Schools teach you to think a certain way, not to think. Repeat that. School teach you to think a certain way, not to think. There's a difference between thinking and thinking a certain way. Let me get deeper and break it down to you. When you think a certain way, you wire your brain's neurons into a pattern, meaning that even if the truth is in front of you, you can never see it. When you think, you open the brain for options. Now the brain can calculate, the brain now can critically think, and the brain now can make a decision to say, this is true, this is not. Do you see what's happening here? This is happening right now. Millions of people are closed-minded, but yet they think they're open-minded. You cannot be open-minded and closed-minded. It doesn't work. So what's the secret to break free from this? How can I become open-minded? How can I escape being closed-minded? Because when you're closed-minded, you cut off your potential, man. You cut off your gifts, your abilities. Yeah, somebody says this, never critically thinking, because you'll find out how you've been beep. True. So the secret, guys, if you want to be someone that's going to be open-minded, it starts with start to become an optimist. You have to start to see the world or the glass half full instead of half empty. That's the first trigger that's going to make you open-minded. Because what that's going to do, that's going to break up the wiring in your brain. That's going to break up the negative pattern you have of seeing the world a certain way and expecting the world a certain way. When you become an optimist, you're going to free up the neurons now. These neurons now are going to be ready to be wired a certain way. That's the first tip for you. See things that could be, instead of getting up every day and saying to yourself, damn, I wonder what's going to go wrong today. I can't wait to see what's going to happen today, man, bad. Why don't you wake up every day and say, man, I can't wait to see what could possibly go good today. What's the best thing that could happen for me today? I can't wait to see that. Your brain will start to wire that way. Then because what's going to happen is, you're going to notice it. You're going to be like, man, good stuff are happening. That's going to make you more open-minded. Right? And the more open-minded you become, the more reality shows up to you. The more you start to see different spectrums of reality. So it's I said this before, like, we're fighting a mind war here. We're fighting it's a game of, can I control your mind to the narrative I want? That's the name of the game right here. The name of the game is, how can I get you to see the world the way I want you to see it, not the way it truly is, not the way you can make it. I want you to see reality the way I design reality to be seen. That's the name of the game. And they're doing a great job of that right now, because they paint a picture of your world for you. Why? Let me show you something. Why do you think so many people have mental problems? Why do you think so many people suffer from depression, from sleep apnea, from insomnia, from all type of mental stuff in their life? Did you know that from the day you were born, your body was wired for what you call perfect health? What happened along the way to take your body out of alignment? Think about that. Let me repeat that again. When you came out of the womb, about 90% of human beings were already wired for perfect health. Yet some people suffer from like genetic mutation and they have stuff, but I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about over 90%. And this is facts, guys. This is a study done. 90% of all human beings were wired for perfect health. Yet, here's the thing now. Yet, over 70% of those humans that were wired for perfect health have mental capabilities or mental disabilities right now. They either suffer from depression, sleep problems, anxiety, whatever you want to call all these mental things happening. What's going on here? Well, I'm going to teach you and show you what's going on. So, when you were born and you came out the womb, you were already in a system that was set up to take your mind and put it a certain way to view reality. It started with your schooling. It started with your favorite television program. It started with the music. It started with your parents. From that moment, you started to deviate. The cells in your body now start to go haywire. Because now your cells are saying, wait a minute, I'm not wired for this. But what am I wired for? And now that's to your subconscious, because your subconscious controls your cells. Because your subconscious is illogical, it doesn't know any better. It's going to move you away from perfect health. Now it's going to wire you. So this is why people suffer from all this stuff, because they aren't themselves anymore. They become the matrix. They're one-dimensional thinking. They're telling how to think. And, you know, a trait of this now comes up because now there's another thing that was to help you but started hurting you. Your ego now. Your ego now actually attacks you because your ego was made to help you from when you were born. You know, your ego is a good thing. But now your ego turned against you through the matrix. So, Mark, how did my ego turn against me? I'm going to show you exactly how your ego turned against you. You see, what they do is they use these two most powerful things to mess you up. Here's what they use to get you. Comparison and competition. Let me repeat that again. Comparison and competition. They make you compete against other people, and they make you compare yourself with other people. Those two C's are the main reason you suffer from anxiety, depression, toxic stuff, because it's taking you away from you and comparing you to someone that's not you, which your body don't recognize and your mind don't recognize. And therefore, if you see it every day, your subconscious is going to accept it, and the emotions are going to start to show, and you're going to become depressed. Where do you see that the most? Social media, your favorite celebrity shows. That's why I tell everybody, I said, stop watching the news, stop watching these reality TV shows, stop watching the rich people, stop watching all this favorite celebrity stuff, because all it's going to do is going to show you what you don't have and make you more depressed. Stop watching these people that are on these things showing you their body, their thin body, and how their makeup and all this stuff. Look, that's not you. Most of those people are filters. Okay, you want me to get deep? I'm going to get deep on you. I'm going to get so deep. Here, check this out. Why do you think Instagram, TikTok, they have all these filters with beauty stuff on it? Everybody's using a filter, a beauty filter. Everybody's not themselves. Why do you think that's happening? You think it's a coincidence? Because they want to portray a certain way you're supposed to look. They want to take you away from your natural beauty, the natural person you are. No one can ever be you. You want to get deeper? Now check this out. Yeah, you put the beauty filter on, you put that stuff on, you're going to feel good. But you know what? Deep down, you know that's not you. Deep down, you're going to start to become depressed. You can't lie to yourself. You can lie to all the people in the world. You can lie to you can make a social media life, but you can't hide and lie to yourself. The thing that you see, and you see most of these people are the most beautiful people you see, all these people that look good, they have the most mental disabilities. Because they're trying to live something or be someone and compare something they're not. And they cannot lie to themselves, because every night when they go to sleep, they sleep with themselves. Even if they have their boyfriend, your girlfriend with you, you're still with yourself. You could lie to them, but you can never lie to yourselves, my friend. You can't lie to your body. You can tell your cells, but your cells are programmed from the day you were born with your true DNA component. Your cells already know who you are. So if you go away from that, you're going to meet disease. Disease comes from not aligning with your true self. That's what you need to know. Be comfortable in your skin. Accept who you are. Don't compare with other people's journey. Yes, you can observe other people's journey. You could appreciate other people's journey. You could use the journey for motivation, but do not ever compare yourself with what he got or she got or I got. You know, the biggest issue too that we face today is people are always focusing on what they don't have. How many people focus on what they do have? It's very limited. That's not a coincidence either. That's a design by the Matrix. I'm a vegan for 4 years. It's great to be a vegan, but being a vegan doesn't matter. It helps with you to motivate, but this is a mental faculty here. This is a state of being. This is a state of mind here I'm talking about. Vegan helps. Yes, it's good to eat healthy. It helps your cells. But your state of mind is what's more important here. Your state of being. Let me show you something. And I teach a lot of different manifesting techniques, and I show people how to remove blocks, and I do all this stuff. But with all that being said, none of that stuff will ever work until you can attain a certain state of being. You can do all the manifesting techniques. You can do the 3x3, the 2-cup method, the 3-6-9 method, all of that stuff. You will never see consistent results because you haven't gotten into a state of being. Once you enter this state of being, you will manifest like this. Mark, what is the state of being? The state of being is accepting who you are and not comparing or competing with anyone. Compete with yourself. Once you understand who you are, you're in that state of being. Because now your cells will remember why they came here and who they are. And that puts you in a vibrational harmony. So because you're in vibrational harmony, the stuff around you is all energy, right? And remember, it has charge. It has positrons, electrons, and all these different charges. And if you're aware of who you are, you're going to what? Attract. So, okay, let me make this very simple for you guys. You know what the state of being is? Here's the state of being. Know to love yourself. Repeat that. The state of being is love yourself. How many people love themselves? Well, you may say, Mark, I love myself. I take care of myself. That's not loving yourself, man. Loving yourself is the deep, traumatic stuff you held in your unconscious. You have to now remove them and understand that you are who you are, and that these things that happened to you didn't make you a victim. They empowered you. That's state of being. Self-love is having the ability to be comfortable in your own skin. I don't know the simplest way. Self-love is the ability to observe another person and their life and be happy for them and use it as motivation. That's self-love. Self-love is not, this is what self-love isn't. Self-love is not looking at another person, being envious, being jealous. Why can't I have that hairstyle? Why can't I be that tall? Why can't I have that skin color? Why can't I have that? That's not self-love, my friend. Too many people suffer from that, and this is why they're out of discord with manifesting. Yeah, you can manifest with that, but let me ask you a question. How much of it is going to stay in your life? How much of it is going to be consistent? It's going to be very inconsistent because you're always going to fight with your true self. And here, you want to hear the, you can't beat your true self, my friend. You'll never win. Because you're always going to have this discord. It's going to be battle back and forth. Until you accept your true self, voila. Yeah, what you eat and drink matters as well. Someone says, Queen here says, the government's been tricking us for years with food. I agree with that. Certain foods you have to stay away from. There's certain foods. Food is important, guys, because food elicits different emotion responses. Food affects your mood, affects your body. So you definitely got to be aware of what you put in your body because it's the fuel for your body, right? They're even poisoning the water. Yeah, but you got to remember the big picture here with this particular live here is I want you to understand that in order to create something, you have to fight your own mind. You have to fight your own brain because your brain wants to conserve the energy. Your brain don't want you to thrive, guys. Your brain wants you to survive. So you got to take solace. If you're someone that's you're procrastinating, you find unmotivated, don't feel bad. You're quite normal because that's how your brain developed. So many of you say, man, Mark, why do I keep unmotivated, man? Why do I start something, then I stop it? Why can't I just finish it up all the way? Why can't I just do what I love? Why can't I just be constantly motivated? Because your brain isn't wired that way. You have to change the wiring of the brain. You change the wiring of the brain, you change the chemistry. Mark, you speak of inflammation. I'm an herbalist. Fernin Groot supplement removes inflammation from the body. Yes, inflammation is basically a gathering of energy in the cells, and the cells become inflamed. That's all inflammation is. It's toxic energy. It's energy that's been gathered up, and you got that's inflammation. That's how all disease starts. And then from inflammation, the body produces mucus. Mucus, the reason why the body produces the mucus, because the mucus traps the viruses that the inflammation produces and tries to help the cell. But of course, too much mucus affects the body, right? Do you upload these lives to YouTube? Yep. So, I just want you guys to just understand the big picture here. That it's quite natural for you to feel down sometimes. It's quite natural for you to procrastinate because it says your brain is working right. But it's going to be your responsibility, though, to change the wiring. Because as I said before, your brain is just fine with just chilling and keeping the same routine. Why do you think change is so difficult for people? See, now you're making sense to you? Now you're seeing the picture, like why some of the stuff you're doing in your life, you never fulfilled it. Like why it was so hard for you to do it. Why you only start and never finish what you want. Because your brain was wired more powerful than you think it was. You got to remember, look, we developed technology. We made money. We made all these different things in our lives. But your brain didn't even care. Your brain didn't change. Your brain still says, I'm just going to chill and sit in the cave, man. I'm just going to just get food and we're going to go back in the shelter. Your brain still hasn't caught up. You have to make your brain catch up. You have to rewire your brain to get with the new system, the new times. If you want money, if you want better health, you want more finances, if you want whatever you want in your life, man, you have to retrain your brain. You got to go in there and change the chemistry so it can put out more energy instead of conserve energy. Your brain is a wonderful organ. It has the ability to produce so much energy. Everything's in there. Just like I said, it's like that phone. That phone, it comes built with a certain amount of memory, right? But the creators of the phone already knew in advance that, man, this phone has a lot of memory, but let's make it more better. So maybe, what if there's some people that just like using like a lot of power? Let's make it with a SD card or something, compartment. You buy your phone, you have tons of memory, and you're like, man, I need more memory. Oh, I got my SD card. Let me go buy my SD card. Boop. Same way your brain is equipped. Your brain has different parts of your brain that's dormant, you haven't touched it yet. It's ready for you to open it up and start it. Now, when I talk about the brain, to wire the brain, I'm talking about through the subconscious mind now, okay? Not just the physical brain. When you hear me say referring to change the program, it's all subconscious. The subconscious is what controls the wiring of the brain. So just to make it clear to you guys, it's a subconscious thing. You gotta go change the subconscious map, which will change the neural program in your brain. Your subconscious tells your body exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it. You're not a conscious person. You're a subconscious program. Every part of your life is a subconscious program. Every aspect of you is subconscious. See, that's the thing too. Once you learn your body, like how it works, you gotta. The body's gonna do its thing. People worry about it all the time. People are like, man, all of a sudden my body's this body. You know what you do? You forget about it. Focus on something else. The body's gonna recoup and fix itself, because the body's wired that way. What we tend to do is, because our minds are powerful, we tend to mess up the flow of the body. We try to change it by ourselves. Like, oh man, you just create more resistance. If all people understand that, okay, I may be going through this, but I know it's like maybe stress or something. Let me just relax and let it go. Let me not try to like force fix it. Let me just, because your body is going to self-do its thing. Like I always said this before, I said, you're not your body, man. Your body, you can't control your body a lot of times, You have immense power to change the cells but most stuff in your body, It's going to do what it wants to do regardless. I said this before. You can't digest your own food. You cannot control your own heart rate. You can't control your breathing. You can't control your metabolic states. What I mean metabolic states is when the body burns calories and how much calories you're going to burn. You can't control any of that. The body's going to do that regardless. You're just there for the ride, my friends. You can't control aging. You can slow down the aging process, but one day the body's going to decay. You can't stop that. You can't stop the body from dying. One day the body's going to go and die. I mean, that's the truth, right? You can slow them down. You can delay them. But the big picture again is, if you understand this, it frees you up so much. It frees you up because it takes a lot of stress, a lot of trying to control stuff out of your life, man. You get to become yourself and become who you are. And that's where you get more power. That's the next big problem. We try to control too much stuff. And that's a part of the matrix. The matrix wants you to try to make you control stuff. Again, it goes through school. When you're in school, the teacher will give you a problem, and the teacher will say, solve this. You know? They give you this equation, they tell you this, solve this. So what are they doing? They're teaching you to think one way. They teach you to focus on the problem instead of a solution. The universe doesn't work the way they teach you guys. If you focus on the problem, you're going to get more of the problem. Yeah, but they make you solve it one way. If you focus on a solution, you're going to solve the problem. And the beauty of it is, you don't even know how it's going to happen. You don't even have to see how it's going to resolve. You know it's going to resolve. The information will be downloaded to you, and you will solve the problem. So that's a life lesson for people. Stop focusing on the problem and focus on what you'd like. I'll give you an example, because people ask me all this all the time. Okay, Mark, what do you mean by not focusing on a problem? How do you not focus on a problem? Well, I'll give you an example. Let's use money. So if someone is struggling financially and they have a lot of bills and stuff to pay, what do they focus on? They focus on, man, I got this bill. How can I fix this bill? How can I not pay this bill? Right? They focus on the problem instead of the solution. So what is the solution here? Man, more money. If I had more money, I wouldn't have the bills so much. I could pay the bills. So that's why I say focus on what you want. So in that case, you'd focus on, what would it look like to have more money in my life? Can I see myself having more money? Can I visualize me having more money? What would my life look like with, I can pay my bills early? How my bank account look? That's an example of focusing on what you want instead of focusing on the bills. Most people do that. Most people focus on the bills. They focus on, damn, I got that bill. How am I going to pay that? That's what they're focusing on. But all in reality, see, I always say this game is so easy. All they have to do is just focus on a way to make more money. Because if you make more money, problem solved, correct? If you have more money, I can pay the bills. Matter of fact, I pay my bills early, in months in advance. See what I'm showing you? But that is because of how they were programmed. See, people are programmed with a one-track mind, man. That's how the Matrix program you. They don't program you to be open-minded. Very few people do this. Very few people are open-minded people. So they teach you like one way to do stuff. They don't teach you the multiple different ways to do stuff. And that's done on purpose. Because they want you to come back to them. They want you to rely on it. You know, and it goes into the thing about self-confidence. That's why so much people suffer with self-confidence issues. See, the Matrix won't tell you that you have the ability to do anything you want to do. For example, let's give you this as an example. I'll show you how to think deep and how to be open-minded. A mechanic. How did a mechanic become a mechanic? He studied, he watched, how to fix cars. Before he became a mechanic, he was a regular guy or a regular person. He probably took his car and got it fixed. But one day he said, you know what? I'm going to learn to fix my own car. He studied, because your brain is wired to learn. So he learning. Before you know it, he's fixing his own car. See, that's a person of open-mindedness. See, he's not a person like, that's what people do. People think like, man, I can't do this, I can't get that because I don't have that. You have the very thing. You can learn just like they learn. And that makes you more confident. See, confident people understand that just because this person has that or that doesn't make them better than me. It just means that whatever they did, I can learn to do it as well. The Matrix don't want you to figure that out, though, man. The Matrix wants you to think you can't do it yourself. That's why you need to go to the expert to do it for you. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some things, of course, you're definitely gonna need experts with, medical stuff like that, doctor stuff. I get that, but I'm just showing you a big picture here. I'm just showing you a big picture part that you have to understand that you have to see things from a different perspective, multiple perspectives, and not stay in this one-track lane that they want to program you into staying in. Someone says, agree, I had 3 degrees, 3 trades, never codependent. Right? And I want to use this person example, which is opulence. Opulence says they have 3 degrees, 3 trades, never you can just what opulence have, you can have the same thing because your mind is open to learn. See, most people don't go try to learn stuff. Most people, first of all, the reason why people don't learn stuff because they believe they can't do it. See that? The belief they can't do it is product of the Matrix because their minds have been so in flux with the one-dimensional thinking that they cut off the ability to see the options or the opportunities. See how it works? So that's the first thing the Matrix does. It makes you believe you can't do it. But if you can break through that part, then you will start to expand your mind, and then you'll start to see marvelous stuff. Because every single human being, all of you guys, you have the ability to do what any other person can do. The people that are running the world are just like you. Some of you are even smarter than them. People invented stuff and all just like you. They learned it. You can learn it as well. People who can play the piano and the guitar, and you say to yourself, "Nah, I can't do that. Never in a million years." Then you ain't gonna do it in a million years. But if you understand, like, oh, I can learn that stuff, man. I can go here, especially the age we live in now. You go to YouTube, you can type up, do it yourself. This, you can do all that stuff if you want, man. But most people don't do that because they don't think like that. You know why they don't think like that? Because they have so much distraction from the Matrix. The Matrix distract them with like TV, with the social media stuff, with like a lot of stuff going on. So they don't even have time to compartmentalize and think like, man, I could go do it for myself. They just feel like, oh, I got their mind just, and the subconscious is programming them. You got to go to this. You got to do that. You got to listen to them. You got to follow them. Da da da. Don't try to do it yourself. You da da. You want to play the piano? You can learn to play the piano. You want to manifest big stuff? You can manifest big stuff. You want to become a lawyer, a doctor? You can learn all that stuff, man. You're young, you're going to school, you want to become a medical doctor? You can do all that. You can go all of that. You can learn to do whatever you want. You can even learn to fix your own self. You can learn to heal your own body. You can learn to heal your own mind. You can learn to create your own reality. You can learn to change the physical world. You can do anything you want because it's all where? It's all in your head. Everything is in the head, and then it goes outside this what we call reality prism. Someone says, don't worry about how, just believe. Couldn't agree with you more, my friend. Couldn't agree with you more. I explore the depth of my mind, deep breathing. That's a great way to get into the mind. Definitely breath good. Someone here says, I had a guy that had a 4th stage prostate cancer, 17 days gone. Of course. Guys, what do you think the placebo effect is? I'm going to tell you a story. I think I told the story before to show the part of the body. So there was this guy. He was like, I think he was terminally ill. I'm going to show you how powerful this is. I said this story before. Maybe you'll get. There's a guy that was terminally ill. Okay. And he went to his doctor. And they tried every treatment. Nothing worked. And one day his doctor said, okay, let's do this. Because they know the mind is powerful. The doctor says, hey man, congratulations. I found a cure for your terminal illness. Take 2 of these a day, guaranteed you'll be healed in 30 days. Guess what? 30 days the man healed. All the cancer cells disappeared, man. Right? Healed completely. 20 years went by. And the guy there was an article that he found about the doctor. The doctor was so happy that he healed him, and he told the local newspaper, and they all came and they wanted to do an article about him. And the doctor wrote the article and told the newspaper what actually happened. He said, I gave him sugar pills, and he believed him healed himself. When the guy found out that information, okay, show you how the power of the mind is, 30 years, 20 years went by, okay? And he read the information, he realized that what he took was sugar pills. His cancer came back. And he died. The power of your beliefs. Even 20 years went by. So you got to believe to heal your mind. Yep. When the doctor gave it to him, says, hey man, guaranteed you. Believed it. Didn't even think about it. Cells heal. But he read the article, probably felt a little bit down, and said, man, I didn't heal myself. Cancer came back. Why did that happen? Because the subconscious mind is illogical. Your subconscious mind can't think. Your subconscious is not rational. That's why I always say to you guys, it's important to only focus on what you want. Don't focus or watch anything that is not in accordance with what you want. Don't watch any crazy stuff, toxic, violent stuff that's going to make you sad or depressed or crazy. Don't watch any of that stuff, man. Because your subconscious mind don't watch stuff you fear, people. That's why I cut out the news. I don't watch anything. Only stuff I watch or ever put my mind on is stuff that's going to make my life the way I want it to. See, if this guy wasn't like snooping around in articles and stuff, he probably would have still been here. If you didn't find that article. That's the importance of that's why I tell people all the time. I said, look, man, this is a game of the mind, man. They're putting stuff out there that's going to program your mind. All the stuff you're watching is going into your subconscious. The music you're listening to is going into your subconscious. I'll show you another one. Let's use music. Let's use relationships. Why do you think it's hard for so many people to find love, to trust people, and to do all this stuff? You know why? The music they listen to is subconsciously programming them to become toxic, to not trust people, to cheat, all that stuff. Why? Because most of the music you listen to is heartbreaking music. It's about love loss. It's about the guy cheated on me. The girl left me. I can't find my lover. All that. Most of the music about that right now. People listen to that stuff. It sounds good. It's heartbreaking. The sad music. I love it. I wish I could find a guy like me. Their subconscious adapts that information. So now when they go out in the real world, they try to find love and all that stuff. Everything backfires on them, and they have no idea. That is their favorite music that they listen to every night they go to sleep. Oh, I know it's a sad song, but it just made me feel so good. Yeah. You want to know the secret about your mind? It can be addicted to toxic stuff. It doesn't care, man. It'll make you feel good, bad to be toxic. That one's a wake-up call. So that's what people do. They don't even know that, man. They go around, and so why do you think so much people having difficulty like relationships, man? The music you listen to is programming your unconscious mind. Now what your unconscious mind does, your unconscious mind now goes out to prove stuff to you now. Your unconscious mind is not like your egotistical mind. Your egotistical mind have the ability to accept or reject information. Right? Your regular mind, you can say, I don't want that, I don't like that. Your subconscious don't have that luxury. It's just going to take whatever comes in repeatedly now. If it's something you like to do a lot, That's where the habit's going to form. Now, I'm not saying this is not going to happen if you do it like once or twice now. So I don't want you guys to get worried and say, oh my God, I listened to this music last night. I'm done. My relationship's ruined. No, no, no. It's something you have to be doing a lot. Like if you like listening to a lot of these music over and over, that's when it becomes a repetition in the subconscious. It's not going to be a one-time or two-time thing. So if you listen to this sad music about breakup and not trusting a guy, it doesn't mean tomorrow you're going to go out and not get that. No, it means if you do it a lot, if you like those type of music and that's what you listen to a lot, your subconscious now is going to get the alarm to say, oh, this is what we want. And it's going to turn that on. And then you are going to exhibit and react and experience those things because that's what your subconscious likes to do. It likes to prove your existence and experience based on your repetitive thoughts. So what gives us repetitive thoughts a lot? The things we surround ourselves with. And what do we surround ourselves with? We live in the age where everything is an information age, where we see things through our media, our computers, our smartphone, our social media. Those are the platforms that they uses to influence your views of reality. So if I was you, I would change my algorithm now. Start looking for things that you like to see. So the universe can give you a different algorithm. Just like the social media, they have algorithms. Based on what you watch and search, it pops right up on your feed. The same way the universe works. Based on your algorithm, it's going to pop. But the difference with the universe than social media is you're going to feel it. You're going to experience it. Social media just makes you see it. The universe will make you feel it. So, that's why I always tell people, I said, guys, you have to get up every day and ask yourself this first question before you get out of bed. What's the best thing that could possibly happen for me today? That's going to start the algorithm off in your favor. Most people don't do that. Most people get up in the morning and says, damn, got to do this shit again. Got to go to work. What the hell going to happen today, man? I hope that the algorithm's going to swoop right in, get them the same way. The difference is they're going to feel it because the algorithm is in your subconscious. Your subconscious just wants to prove it as an experience. That's why the power of subliminals and mantras are important. Someone says I did lots of mantras and subliminals, then mirroring, but now not feeling doing it. Okay, when you're doing it that much, it means your mind has accepted it. So if you're not feeling and doing it, it's a good sign. It means the subconscious says, okay, I got enough, relax. That's why it's important for people every day to have a mantra, that you have to have an affirmation. You got to have your go-to mantra and your go-to affirmation. You have to have your self-talk. You have to have your subliminals because it's real in the field, man. I call it the field. It's real in the field. When you go into the field, it's a battle. It's a battle for your mind. That's what it is in the field. So you got to have your armor. You got to have your gear ready because the field is going to give it to you as an experience. Remember what I said. Social media give you algorithms based on what you watch and look at. Universe give you algorithms in a real-time experience. So that's why I say become an optimist. You can fix all of this if you start to just see the glass half full. And you practice that every day. It's actually going to fuse your mind to become an optimist. Now you're going to get a great algorithm. And the beauty of this algorithm is all the bad negative stuff is never going to come on your feed, just like on social media. You know, like on your YouTube and everything. What you put in, you're only going to see that stuff. All the negative, toxic stuff is never going to show up on your feed, man. It will never show up on your feed because the algorithm isn't responding to that. That's why every day I have my mantra, I have my affirmation, my go-to mantra, my go-to affirmation. Every day. Matter of fact, I got it to the point now where it's just automatic. I don't even have to think about it. My subconscious does it for me because it's programmed that way now. You got to get your mind, and see the beauty of this, once you get your mind on that pattern, it becomes so easy. It becomes a habit. You'll be doing it, you don't even know you're doing it. You'll get up every morning and you'll feel positive. Now look, of course there'll be some days you're not going to feel right, you're not going to feel positive because you're still, you know, your body's still going through changes, your hormones. That's fine, but I'm just speaking on an overall thing. I'm not speaking that every single day you're going to be happy and positive. No one can do that. It's impossible. But I'm just saying an overall image is your overall mental attitude, your overall mental faculty is of an optimist. I want to repeat this because it's so profound. Everything is an algorithm. The universe will give you algorithms to make you feel and experience stuff. The universe will not give you an algorithm to show you. It doesn't work that way. It'll make you feel. We are built to interact with our environment. The hairs on my arm, millions and billions of sensory receptors. Right now, this hair on my arm is right now in the field deducting the scent of the wind, the trajectory of the wind. All different senses is coming in, is processing into my arm. The hair goes up to my brain, and I'm sensing my environment. All right, I can feel I'm hot, I'm getting cool, my body's getting sweaty, all that. And that's just what I can be aware of. What about the stuff I can't be aware of? My hearing, the senses in my pores. Right now, there's trillions and billions of information being processed by my subconscious right now from my entire body. Some I'm not even aware of it. So we're built to interact with the field. So that's what I'm saying, you gotta understand how this game works. So that means I'm built to experience stuff. That's why I have different taste buds. I can taste different stuff. You can taste different stuff because you're just totally immersed in the field. With knowing that now, I know that, I'm like, damn. Since I know that I'm a total interactive avatar in this field, and it's like an algorithm, man, this field, though, is giving a lot of negative stuff to the matrix. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to separate myself by just like watching stuff that only makes me feel good. Because I don't want to be like experiencing those things. Because I mean, look, I know my body. I understand how it works. So I was like, okay, I'm going to change the algorithm here. From now on, I'm just going to start to like think about stuff that make me feel good. Think about stuff that I like to have. I'm going to watch stuff. I'm going to watch people that's doing what I've done or just doing big stuff. I'm just going to be on like a positive trip, man. I'm going to watch all good stuff, man. My music, nah, I'm not even, damn, I love that band. I love that hip hop. I love all that. Man, I can't even watch. I'm not even going to listen to that no more because now I know. Like, damn, but that was my favorite jam. My favorite jam was jamming me up. So like, I can't even listen to that jam no more. I got to cut that joint off. You know, I'm just going to listen to like disco beats or whatever. I'm just going to listen to music or not even music. I'm just going to listen to stuff that's going to make me feel good, man. And then the algorithms start to change. And then I was like, all right, that's what I'm talking about, man. So I see my world changing. I see people coming into my life that are in resonance with what I want. I'm like, yeah, this is the algorithm I want. Later for that old stuff. You have to do the same. Right? You got to do the same. Law of attraction is not witchcraft, but I do believe it's magic. I mean, everything is magic, people. You being here is magic. You looking outside is magic. The world is magic. Particles appear and disappear. That's what people call magic. But what is magic? Magic is science explaining the unexplainable. Someone says it here, law of attraction isn't magic, it's science. I agree with that. It's just magic is a word we use to describe things that we can't comprehend or make sense intellectually, so we call it magic. Same thing with miracles. Miracles are the same thing. Miracles are things we use. But miracles and magic are part of the universe. They're natural stuff in the universe, man. They're encoded in the universe. They're natural. They're supposed to happen. Everything comes in through magic and, all that stuff. Everything comes through magic and miracles. It's a natural part of the universe. I believe in LOA. No one can deter me from it. The interesting thing about the universe and law of attraction, it's good that you believe in it. But it's so powerful that even if someone doesn't believe in it, the universe don't care what your belief is. It cares about what the vibration you're putting out. Your vibration is more higher than your belief. Your belief is surface level. A vibration is what you feel internally. So if you feel it, That's what you're going to manifest. So a note about your beliefs. It's good for you to have your beliefs because your beliefs will lead to the confirmation of it. So when you believe something, you have to repeat it over and over until you feel it. That's when you're going to create it. You don't manifest just from the belief. You manifest from the feeling that the belief generates. To repeat that, you do not manifest from the belief alone. You manifest from a feeling that the belief generates. The feeling is what interacts with the field. So, what is the lesson in this? Its lesson is you have to build beliefs. And once you build your belief, you have to keep repeating and affirm the belief till the belief becomes an internal dialect, a feeling. That's when it manifests. So that means you're going to have to do stuff repetitively. Question here. Cuban 200. Mark, when you start mirroring what you are manifesting, does it mean the subconscious already accepted it? That's correct. Yep, that's a good example. So how do you know that what you're putting out is going to come in? Mirroring. So if you know that, so how can you tell when your subconscious accepts something? So the thing that let's use like subliminals for example. So if you start to dream about the subliminals that you're using, or the word, you start to dream of the words being said, your subconscious is saying to you, I've accepted this as a new habit. If you start to mirror, reflect things back to you, your subconscious is showing you that this new information, congratulations, I have put it in my program, we're off to making it. It's always going to mirror back to you to show you. Because remember what I said about how the subconscious works? It's a physical thing. It shows you through physical stuff. You'll see evidence of it. You'll see things that remind you of it. It'll make you feel it. Right? We attract what we need to grow, or not what we ask to the universe. Well, yeah, you attract what you are, not what you want, from a vibrational aspect. In other words, if someone wants money, let's say money, because a lot of things money, but if they feel lack or poor deep down, they're not going to attract the money. They're just going to attract more lack and poor. Right? Is it escaping reality or making your reality? It's escaping the matrix and making your reality. That's what it is. It's escaping the matrix version of reality and making your own version of reality. Mark, do you believe in angels? Yeah, but I believe in angels maybe different from you. I believe angels are like higher ascension beings that are in a different dimension, and they can interact to help us to our higher self. I don't believe in angels with the wings and all that stuff. I feel rich, so money comes into my life. Beliefs create habits, create feelings, manifest in our desires. That's right. It's hologram or instant. Do you mean hologram or instant fact creation? Well, creation is a hologram. Everything is a hologram. I mean, the way we see the world is holographic images. Remember, everything comes from inside, outside. When you're in a hologram, the beings in the hologram have no awareness that they're in a hologram. Everything feels real to them. For a person looking outside the hologram can tell it's a hologram because they can see through the entire field. But yeah, you and I are in a hologram. So how do we know we're in a hologram if we're in a hologram, Mark? Because you say we can't see outside the hologram. Well, we know we're in a hologram because we can do experiments and we can see the effects from the hologram. Just like if you're on the ocean, right? You can't see the wind, but by the way the waves are moving, you know the wind is affecting it, right? So that we can see telltale signs of we live in a hologram. One of the telltale signs is the black holes. We now know that black holes Like a black hole, everyone knows a black hole. If you don't know, a black hole is a collapsing star. A star that's so big and heavy that it tore a hole in space. If you don't know, space and time is a fabric. You can tear space. It's like a fabric, like a sheet. You can rip a hole in it. Take a bowling ball. If a bowling ball is heavy enough, you put it on a sheet, it rips through the sheet. That's what a black hole is. So a star like our sun has a big mass. So it's real heavy, so it rips a hole in space. When it rips a hole in space now, you call that a black hole. So around the hole is a part that just continues, spins like this. It's called the event horizon. So what we've discovered is that information like you and I, light, when it goes into the black hole, it doesn't actually go into the hole, it actually spreads across the hole. So, if it spreads across the hole, it means space is actually two-dimensional. A hologram. If space is two-dimensional, you and I are information, we're more likely two-dimensional too. So we see stuff as three-dimensional like a hologram, see? So what is a hologram? A hologram is basically something on a 2D surface being projected in 3D. So that's how we can have the telltale signs that we are like holograms. We're analogous to hologram. That's what I mean by we live in a hologram. Doesn't mean you're literally a hologram. It means that the way our world works is analogous to a hologram. We're on a 2D surface, but we're projecting a 3D world. So we're only information. That's correct. Everything is information. Every part of your body is made up of information. When you die and leave, the cells, the energy, is quantum energy, goes back out into the field of the universe as information. It may come together as another person or whatever it is, but everything is information. It's called qubits. Quantum information is called qubits. Just look, I want to show you your information. When you look at your phone and everything you watch, you're seeing the full picture. But if you break down and you go microscopic, everything is pixelated. These pixels come together to give you an image. Each pixel is an information. If you miss a pixel, you will never see the complete picture. Your cells are comprised of information. Your DNA is information. When it talks in information. It sends information. The universe is information. You and I are just a bunch of informational consciousness. When you do, so do we die? Technically, no. The body decays, but who you are can never die. Your consciousness, your being, that can't go anywhere. We don't die, we transcend. That's exactly correct. That's from Master Manifester 777. I have dreamt three winning the lottery, but no closer to amount of manifesting. What does it mean? It means you got to be more patient. That's all that means. If you dreamt the numbers and play them, those numbers will come out. Those numbers will come out. You know, the thing about the lottery too, manifesting is like when you want something, you have to become entangled with it. When you become entangled with something, you'll get a sign to let you know that it's coming to you. I'll give you an example. Right? So if let's say you manifest in the lottery, like me. So I'm the lottery guy, right? People know me like, oh, this guy manifests a lot of stuff in the lottery and all that stuff. So I'll give you an example, but you can use any part of your life. So when you become like entangled with something, your reality will become that thing. Everywhere you go and everything you do, the universe will help you to make more of that. For example, me, everywhere I go, I get these numbers. I'll see these numbers. The universe is constantly giving me numbers to play, to win, and I'll pick them and I'll play and I'll win and meet different peoples, and I'll constantly meet different people that will entangle with me. Like today, for example, this morning I got up and I went to the Winn-Dixie supermarket here, and I had my numbers to play. So I went in there, I played my numbers, and there was this guy in front of me, man, and this guy had like a ton of tickets, and he was scanning his tickets there, man. I looked at his tickets. I was like, he got play 3, he got play 4, he even got some. I was like, man, he's going all out. And so I got there and I played my numbers, and I had some tickets that I had like some scratch tickets, a month or so to cash in, and I was cashing them in there. And the lady was asking me, she's like, man, you got so much money on these cards. How long do you keep them for? They got about like $2,000 in winnings. And you know, those stores, they can only cash $500 in winnings. But because they're all combined to 2,000, she said, okay, I'll do them for you because they're combined. So I was like, okay. So I'm there. She cashing the tickets. And the guy's next to me, and he's like, man, he's like, bro, you winning all that money, man? He's like, man, you could. He's like, hey, man, it's on him. He could play my numbers. Give him my card. And we just laughed, da 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 da. And then all of a sudden, he said to me, he said, you know what, man? You know, in 2018, I got these numbers. I don't know exactly, but it's like 3, 11, 21, whatever. He sent 6 numbers to me. He says, man, I got these numbers, man. You know, I played them in 2018 in Florida. I played them in the Mega Millions for $33 million. And he says, those numbers came out, man. He says, I had won $33 million. And I said to him, what happened? He said, you know what, man? I lost a ticket. I said, what? And I looked at his tickets, and I was like, man, you look like you don't take care of your tickets. He says, that's the problem, bro. Older guy. He said, I take my tickets and I put them all in my glove compartment and stuff like that. I was like, why would you do that? He says, I don't know, but he says, I got a lawyer, and we contacted the lottery office, and he says, you know, I looked this up too, because there was an unclaimed lottery ticket in 2018 for $33 million that went unclaimed in the Mega Million. So he was actually true. And I was like, what happened, man? He said, you know, I got a lawyer. So we called the office. We showed him exactly where I bought the ticket, what store I did it at. And I said to him, so don't they have surveillance camera? He says, man, they got everything, man. They see me when I bought the ticket, man. But you know what the lottery said? I cannot get the money without the ticket. I was like, yeah. I said, man, for $33 million, they're not going to let you slide. If it was a lower amount, they might make you slide. I was like, next time what you need to do, I told him, I said, next time what you need to do is take a picture of your ticket on your phone. If you lose a ticket, if you have a picture on your phone, the lottery will accept that ticket, the picture on your phone, as a winner. People didn't know that. He's like, wow, I didn't even know that. So I said to him, I said, do you remember what happened? He said, man, I had a Dodge Durango, he said, at that time. And he said, I blew the engine and I was getting a new car. So I was cleaning out all the stuff in my glove compartment. And he says, I think I had the ticket in the glove compartment when I took out to clean it out, but I threw everything in the trash. See that? 33 million. So I asked him, I said, man, how did you get that number, man? He says, man, you know what I did? I downloaded this app, because you know they have these apps, the lottery apps where they can give you like quick pick number generators. He says, I just did a quick pick number generator and he gave me like 311. It's like, man, this number feel good, man. I'm going to play that number. And he played it and he had $33 million. So stuff like that is going to happen to you if you're entangled with that. So the universe is just showing you like, okay, man, things are possible, da 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 da. But I was like, so I said to him, I was just joking. I said, no wonder you're playing all these games. You're trying to catch up for what you lost. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, I'm trying to get it back. But I was like, man, you ain't gonna get it back like that, man. You're going too hard. You need to chill. He's like, yeah, I probably do need to chill. He's like, I know I'm gonna win it again because I got it before. And I told him, yeah, you're definitely gonna win it again, man, because stuff like that is not random. You know, when you did that lottery app and he gave you those random numbers, it gives a lot of random numbers. But for you to he said, yeah, I just had a feeling about that number. And I said, that was divine, man. I said, just don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing, because the universe is going to come back again. But this time I told him what to do. I said, look, man, you have to treat your tickets like they're uncashed checks, man, because they literally are, because your subconscious mind is looking. So if you're putting them all around in your car like nothing, your subconscious mind is going to say, this is worthless. You do win, you're never going to get it. So like you need to find somewhere in your house, like get a nice little place, put your tickets in there so that every time you get ready to check them at the end of the month, like I do, you go there. Don't toss them in your car and do stuff like that. This happened to so many people. There's so many people stories like this. They get a winning ticket in their glove compartment. They forgot about it. Or they had the ticket in for 6 months and they finally remember it expires. So I'm just showing you the big picture. Like when you're entangled with that world, you're going to start to get stuff about that world in your life, everyday life. So that's an example of being entangled with yourself. With like if it's a lottery, or if you're like into business or real estate, you're gonna meet people that are gonna like help you with big houses, project. They'll tell you their story. But the universe does that to just show you possibilities. So when you encounter that, it was just a possibility. It's showing you, hey, Mark, look, anything is possible. Look, $33 million. You see that you're right next to someone that won $33 million, and you see, and of course, I know these stuff happen to me all the time. Stories like that all the time. I hear them all the time. I meet people every day. One guy had a dream. He forgot to play. He went to the casino, and he used to play his numbers, and I think he was winning like $5,000, and he forgot to go play his number in the lottery, and the number came out that night. He missed out on $11 million. He gets his numbers in dreams and stuff like that. There's people like that, because what I do, I do get a lot of individuals mailing me about lottery stuff, like numbers they missed their numbers and all type of stuff. So it's entanglement. Why we are speaking about money, elevate your vibration, everything will come to you. Or she said, why are we speaking only about money? Grow, elevate your vibration, everything will come to you. Yeah, money and finance is a part of that. That's the elephant in the room. People manifest. Most stuff people want to manifest is money, is abundance. So you can't ignore money. You have to love money, guys. You see, that's a limiting belief to that the Matrix puts you into. Money is bad. They're making billions and trillions of dollars right now off of you. They're not telling themselves it's bad. So you got to change your mindset. You have to know how money works. Money is an energy, it's a vibration. You accept money, money comes to you. Money feel the same way you feel about it. I said that before. Money feel the same way you feel about money. If you feel money is like negative and bad, money's gonna stay away from you. If you feel like money, I love you, man. More coming to my life, money gonna run to you because it's an energy. The possibilities are infinite. There's nothing wrong with loving money and having abundance. It raises your vibration. Nothing raises your vibration more than money. Abundance comes in all forms. Abundance is money. Abundance is health. Abundance. So you can say focus on abundance. But money is part of abundance. That's the thing with people. People have been drilled in their head subconsciously through their religion and through their parents about money, man. Like, you can't have too much money. Your people gonna, if you how many people I got message me? Like, Mark, I want to manifest a lottery win. I want to win millions of dollars in the lottery, but I'm scared because people will come after me, or I'm scared because they'll try to like get me and my family to take advantage of me for money. Then you ain't gonna win. You're not gonna manifest it because your subconscious mind is gonna protect you by not making you win. That's a limiting belief. You gotta understand, money is a tool. You need money in the world to live your life, to do the stuff you want. You need money to accomplish your goals and to reach people. It takes money. So you have to get to love money. Not greed with money, a healthy love, a respect, to understand that this is a tool that I'm going to use to enhance, to help myself and to help people. More of that's going to come to you. But most people don't see it like that. Most people see money like, if I have too much, people are going to try to set me up. They're going to try to take advantage of me. No. If you look at it that way, that's what's going to happen. But if you appreciate that money is energy, it's a part of abundance. It helps me to fulfill my dreams, my desires, my mission. It helps to elevate me, and I accept more of it. Voila. It helps me to help other people. I can give back with information. I can motivate. Your whole world change. That's what I'm talking about. Everything is subconscious. We make up rules about this is good, this is bad. Can't have that. That's going to happen to you. All that's a bunch of bull. Go ask anybody about money. They'll tell you, yeah. So, the same people that's telling you, no, too much money's not good for you. They're the ones that's racking up all the money. They're telling you, don't do what I do, just listen to what I tell you. That's the Matrix. They don't want to tell you. What is it? The preachers, the pastors, they're the ones telling you, you can't love money, the root of all evil. But yet you're the ones in the big mansion and the jets. They're the ones coming to you every Sunday for your offerings. But yet they're telling you, no, man, too much money, no. But they're the ones that living in that big old mansion, driving that ghost phantom, coming to your church every Sunday in that $2,000 suit and telling you, you got to give offerings. And don't get greedy for the money. Just give the money to me, though, because I'm connected to God. So he's talking to me. So it's okay for me to have all the money and for you to have trickles. That's a part of the matrix again, man. Religion, the education system, they all work together as a tandem in the matrix. Always see that. You know, they tell you that you got to go through me to get to God. See, I told you, I was this kid that I would always question everything. And I said that to the preacher when I was a kid. Because I used to see my preacher every day when I go to Sunday school, man. In Jamaica, he had his nice suit, had his nice old school Mercedes outside. And I'll go to my mom and I was like, why does he have all like the good stuff? And why do I have to go through him to get to God? I would ask my mom that. Like, isn't he like a regular man like me? Like, who made him like the king to say that only God can talk to me and I could talk to you? Oh, I have the wisdom of God. I'm divinely. So, he tells me to tell you this. So what does that do to you? Imagine what that does to your persona, it teaches people to put them in classes that you're belittled, I'm above you. See, it puts you in a class. It says, you're not good enough. That's why I have to have the money and you have to be the peasant. That's the mentality, the matrix program. So now you go through your life feeling low and below. Okay, well, yeah, it's good for my boss to make all the money. I'll just be the worker. And people accept that. They do. Okay, I'll make someone else rich and I'll just satisfy myself because that's what the good stuff said. People, wake up. It's a bunch of bull. It's programming you, man. If you want to get technical, we could talk about God. God is the universe of everything and everyone. It doesn't judge. It doesn't discriminate. You can go through anybody. You don't have to go through a special person to get through God, man. It's already in you. You're a part of it. You don't need to go to your preacher or your pastor, bro. You don't have to have him pray for you. None of that stuff. You are already it. People don't get that. And then they grow up in their life and they go to work. They're working for someone else. And that person's making millions or billions of dollars. Yet you're satisfied because you were taught that's the way to be. There's always someone that's going to be more than you. There's, he's gifted. He's divine. No, man. Do you see what I'm showing you here? See the big picture? That how you just get fluxed into this hypnotic state and you go with it and you give up your own power. You don't understand that you can have the same thing or you're just as deserving as all these people or whatever they're doing. That's the thing that your parents were programming to you. But they were my parents. My parents. When I asked the pastor that's what my mom told me. He's like, oh, you don't ask the pastor those stuff, Mark. God gave him that and God decided that was him. I was like, what? Huh? As a kid, I was like 7 years old, 8-year-old kid. That didn't make sense to me, man, in my mind. That's why I knew I was different. That's why I knew, man, I got something's different about me. Because all my other friends, my cousins was never thinking like, they would just accept things. And I look around to people like, what's going on here? Am I weird or something? I mean, why am I the only one that can see the scam? Why am I the only one that can see the scam going on? But nobody else can see the scam. Like, why is this guy, and he has like flesh and blood like me, and he's telling me that I asked the preacher, and the preacher told me, never forget these words he told me. He said, young man, when God chooses you, you have to listen. I'm like, what? I said, so God chose you, but God don't chose me? He says, well, there are sheep and there are goats. And something to that line. He says, God picks certain people to do his work and certain people to be, like, in other words, the peasants. That's what this guy was telling me. So many people fall for that. I didn't fall for that. And I was like 7 years old, and I just knew, like, that ain't right. My mom fell for it. Because, everyone fell for that stuff. Because they believe in that stuff. They believe. And the reason why they believe it, because their subconscious mind was propagating it. You know that, right? And you know what? He always used to say this to, and this was something that I knew. Like, see how the subconscious is powerful? He would always say, remember, you have to give your tithes if you want to get blessed. I'm sure I'm going to break something deep down to you, then I might have to go. Here's what they tell you. You got to give your tithes if you want to get blessed. Okay? What does that propagate? It tells you now that if you don't give your tithes, you are not going to get blessed. Now your subconscious mind is going to self-sabotage you because now you fear. So one Sunday, you don't have the money or you don't have it to pay the preacher. You start to worry. Oh my goodness, I don't have this week to pay the tithes. Then a voice comes in your head. You're not going to be blessed. Your own subconscious is going to sabotage you. Then you're going to come back next week and you're going to think God did it to you. And he's going to tell you. You're going to go to your preacher and say, preacher, my goodness, you were so right. You know, last week I didn't have enough to give my tithes. And this bad stuff happened to me. But now here's my tithe. The preacher going to look at you and say, see, my son, God is alive. That ain't God, brother. People, that's your subconscious mind. That's what it does. And repeat that. That's what it does. You will think it's God. It's your own mind that puts that to you because your subconscious is illogical. So when you're in the back of your mind is saying, oh man, I didn't give my tithe. Something bad's going to happen. So your subconscious now only hears a command, something bad. Because your fear is more powerful. So your subconscious is going to make something bad happen to you. And your preacher is going to tell you it's God punishing you because you didn't give your tithes. They put the biggest frame on God. They may try to make God this person, this being, this human that has feelings, judgments, and puts you in your place if you don't go. It's your own subconscious mind. It's your own, you're your own God doing it to yourself. That's the biggest trick they play on you people. God is already within you. You don't have to go to that guy to know God or that person to know God. You don't have to go to that guy to tell you what your future is or what you're going to become. It's all in you. I knew that when I was a kid, but I just didn't know how to articulate it. I just knew the feeling was in me. But I was a young kid. I didn't have the knowledge and understanding to articulate that. Now I do, because I experience it myself. I understand the psychology and the mechanism of how the mind and the energy and quantum physics work. What they do is they use that and twist it to trick you, to make you believe that there's an existential being outside of you, that if you don't do this, you're going to get punished. And when something bad happens to you, you go and you think it's actually that. But it's all along, it was your own mind doing it to you. People, wake up. That's why religion is a $1 trillion industry. So many people fall for that stuff, man. I will say this. We live in a new age of Aquarius. It's time of truth that changes. A lot of these stuff are going to change now. People are understanding who they are, what their powers are, where they're from. So for the next few 100,000 years, religion will be a thing of the past. People will now start to understand what you call inner consciousness or inner being. You're seeing it right now. We're on the verge of it. This time in history, people are understanding how the universe works. They're understanding what the mind and body. They're understanding quantum physics. They're understanding energy and vibration. Never before has that ever happened. More people are awake or woke now than ever before. More people are understanding that how God works, what it truly is, and they're starting to experience it for themselves. They're starting to get up from the scam. They're starting to wake up. See what I mean? So I just like to show big picture, to just let you guys a little my views, what I see, what I experience, and I hope this can help you. I hope it can open your mind. I hope it can make you think, because that's what I'm here to do. Inspire, motivate, make you think, and make you more conscious aware of how things work. These things I tell you, stuff I've experienced myself. The religion thing was really big. As a kid, I would always resist it because in my, my inner, the thing was, when I would be there, I would literally hear, but my true self was like rejecting most of the stuff. And the reason that happens is because your true authentic self knows the truth of you. And like I told you before, you can't lie to yourself, guys. Yourself will always give you something to tell you like, hey man, you're trying to play me out, or you're trying to play us. You can't play us. You can play the people around you. You can play everybody else, but you can never play yourself. Because at the end of the day, you will always face yourself. You will always face yourself. You came here alone, you're going to leave here alone. You came here by yourself, you're going to go by yourself. You're not going to face your wife, you're not going to face your boyfriend, your husband, all that. They could be sitting right next to you. You're just seeing them. But when you go to sleep and you're experiencing, you're facing yourself. Because you face yourself, you can't lie. You can lie to them, but it's going to eat you up inside. Because yourself knows you, man. Yourself knows you. See how it works? So, that's all the time I have today. So, I'll do another one. We are not our bodies, that's correct. You are a witness. All you are, guys, and I'll say this before I go. You are a witness to your personality. You're not your personality. You're not your body. You're the witness. You're the observer observing. You're the being. You're that state of being. That's what you are. You have to understand that. Understand that you are not your thoughts. You're none of that. You're the observer of those things. The observer is what you call the God, the true omnipotent consciousness. Because the observer, nothing can affect or influence the observer because he's observing. Until you recognize that, that's when you free yourself. But most people, they accept their personality and their thoughts as them, eliminating the observer. But the observer is always there. You know what the observer is? Is that feeling deep inside you're going to get when you go to sleep and you try to convince other people. But deep down, you're going to know yourself, going to tell you, man, you're trying to fool these people, bro. Or you're trying to put this out, bro. But you can't fool me. It's always going to tell you that. Gotta listen. All right, guys. See you next time.